Seeing people begin their adventure with Fire Emblem Three Houses has been really awesome. Seeing the community flourish on Twitter is something I've really enjoyed. Everybody talking about what house they're picking, everybody talking about how their story is playing out. It's been really, really cool. But I maybe haven't been able to have the same positive experience with the game, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. But first, let's talk about something else that Nintendo might be doing that might not be that positive. All right, let's talk about the game selling, right? We're going to go to Benji Sales on Twitter. He talks about video game sales and analyzes all the time. You should follow him if you care about the business of video games. But he says Fire Emblem Three Houses is experiencing significant shortages at retail in the US, and I stress substantial shortages. He says that he thought Nintendo learned the franchise was expanding substantially after Awakening, digital, likely stronger than normal for Nintendo first party due to this. And then cartridge games, who you should also follow if you really care about what's going on in the world of Nintendo Switch. He says that plus vouchers will have an impact. All right, so let's stop and talk about this a little bit. The fact that there may or may not be shortages for Fire Emblem Three Houses at retail. We got the game digitally, so I'm not experiencing any of this, but I do want to know, are you guys experiencing shortages of any kind? That's something that I am very curious about, because if you are, then I don't know, maybe Nintendo didn't quite learn that Fire Emblem is expanding its reach and more people than ever are playing it. Tremendous representation in Super Smash Bros. The brand is stronger than it's ever been. It's kind of weird to see this, the fact that Nintendo may have undershipped it and that there are seeing significant shortages at retail. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if your local Walmart or GameStop or any retailer is experiencing any shortages and you're not able to find the game. We only got it digitally through the eShop, but next time I'm at Walmart, which should be probably later today for whatever reason, I'm gonna go and check if there are any copies of Fire Emblem Three Houses, because if there isn't, that's a really big mistake. Nintendo should know that a large portion of their user base still buys things physically, so the fact that they aren't putting this in as many stores as possible to sell as many as they can is a little bit weird, and I don't know why they would do it to one of their biggest releases of the year. And make no mistake, Nintendo is treating this like one of the biggest releases of the year for them. This came just a week after Ultimate Alliance 3, and Ultimate Alliance 3 had pleasant news as far as sales goes, also from Benji Sales, that said that potentially that game could be doing way better than expected. And maybe the fact that there are shortages at retail for Fire Emblem Three Houses means that the sales of the game are going to be hampered a little bit, at least at first. I feel like anybody that really wants to play Fire Emblem is going to play it no matter what, whether you get it digitally, as they mentioned here, that maybe the sales for digital or the vouchers or however are going to be way stronger than they normally would, and that's fine because then people still get to play the game. But for anybody that wants the physical version, it's tricky that they might not be able to find it locally if they want a cartridge. And now I want to talk about my experience with the game a little bit. All right, keep in mind this is only my experience, so I'm sorry ahead of time, but I'm honestly super jealous, really jealous of the people that are out there enjoying this to the max, right? I see that a lot, like people just absolutely adoring the game, and I'm feeling disconnected a little bit. I'm having a really hard time just having a grasp of what the game is, and maybe I just need to play it more, right? I have played hours of the game, I have. It's just that something hasn't quite clicked for me right away, and I don't know if this is one of those type of games that I need to invest like 10, 12 hours before I finally just like get it. I hope that's not the case. Maybe the more I play it, the more I end up loving it, and then I'm gonna be like super attached to all the characters and stuff. But for now, the story is like really confusing. And we've joked about this, there's like so many names to remember, so many locations, so many kings. There are three houses, and the houses themselves are pretty easy to remember, but like the world, you get so much of it at once that for me, it's a little bit overwhelming, and I still haven't hit the stride I want to hit, and I'm going to continue playing it 100%. I think the combat is like really cool. The story stuff that I am able to pick on, I think is like really well done. Since I haven't played Fire Emblem in so long, I feel like a little bit behind, honestly. And that's why I wanted to talk about it, right? Because this isn't something I'm proud of. I'm not proud of the fact that Fire Emblem just doesn't resonate me like fully the way I wanted to, because I want to love the game. I really do. It's just not happening right now. And I'm sure it's a me issue. I don't think it's the game. The fact that it throws so much, and the real reason I brought this up, I wanted your advice. That's what I want. I want you guys to let me know what I'm doing wrong. Okay, anytime there's like lecture stuff, I just do like auto lecture at this point. There is a lot of characters to deal with. There's a lot of characters to manage. and sometimes I kind of forget which is which. There's a lot of names, and as far as combat goes, I fully understand that for the most part. Whether it be something about the story, whether it be the way it's all structured, whether it be the fact that they just throw way too much at you at one time, something isn't clicking for me. And I wanted to ask you guys, honestly, do you guys think that it clicks the more you play? Is that something that some of you might be experiencing? Because if it is just that, hey Gabe, keep playing and things will eventually make sense, then awesome, I'm all for it, I'll keep playing. But I'd be lying if I said that I was like totally into it the way everybody else seems to. I want to love it, right? Every time I see somebody just like proudly exclaim on Twitter that this is their house and that they're having an amazing time, I'm like, oh man, I want to feel that. I want to feel that very, very badly. Whether it be the fact that there are just like way too many systems in the game, you know, the exploring, the lecturing, and then the battles, there's a lot to do. And maybe since I just haven't had a Fire Emblem experience in so long, it's a little bit much at first, and maybe the more I play it, the more it makes sense. But I wanted to get your opinion. Give me any tips you can too, right? I'm a complete Fire Emblem beginner at this point, so any tips you guys may have for me would be super, super helpful and super appreciated. I want to be a part of this community. I want to love the game just like all of you. I recognize the game's greatness, so that's not lost on me. Maybe just help me out a little bit as far as what I need to do to enjoy it like some of you are. What am I missing? Some of the story stuff is like really intriguing. Why are that little girl and Byleth connected? What does it all mean? I'm sure the story goes to some really dark places and I can't wait to see it. But for now, again, just help me out a little bit. Hopefully you guys don't judge me too hard for that. But yeah, let me know what I can do to make my Fire Emblem experience a little bit better if I'm having a little bit of a hard time getting as into it as I want. But there you have it. It's unfortunate that Fire Emblem might be undershipped to retail. The game is gonna probably sell very, very well. Just a lot of it might not be physical. I'm sure maybe Nintendo course corrects and just like throws a bunch of physical versions out there at some point. But yeah, they need to meet the demand. Like I said, I'm not loving the game as much as I want to, and maybe you guys can help with that. Any help you have would be greatly appreciated. So sound off in the comments below, letting me know what I can do. How can I improve my Fire Emblem Three Houses experience? Right now, I'm doing auto lecture. I'm just trying to do as many like little side quests as I can, just like helping people out at the monastery, but help, please. All right, so with that, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys are awesome. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video in any way. You guys are great. Thank you for the support. We'll see you on the next one. SwitchForce out.